Welcome to episode 29 of Catherine's Low Income Prepping. So, this is July 4th, and we made it another month. No nuclear war yet, huh? Okay. So, what we're going to talk about today is a couple things that are going on. They're going to be meeting on the 5th, which is tomorrow, and I heard on the 11th to decide if they're going to just basically fast track Ukraine into NATO. So if they do that, what's going to happen is Russia's going to say, well, I can't have that. And there's a possibility of World War III starting when that happens. It might not start, but, no one can really foresee the future. All I can do is go on about what things seem to be going on right now. Well, anyhow, we picked up some more things I'm sorry, my hair is kind of messy today. I was outside and we had a barbecue for the 4th. Anyhow, we had hamburgers. So, life is good. We picked up a few more things for our survival items. And we got some extra tape and stuff. My partner had to have her eyes worked on. My partner's name's Tammy. And I love her very much, and I'm glad that the surgeries worked out well. Because they had to take cataracts out, and they put new lenses a week ago in one eye and then another week ago in the other eye. So they did the right eye and then the left eye, so they split it up. They just didn't do it all at once so she could see out of the other eye, I guess. And she was having to wear a contraption on her face. But everything went well, and she's healing up. So now, getting on to other things. It's getting harder and harder when you go into Walmart. The people that got working there's only a few. I mean, they got some real wackos. There's a lady in there that hates guns. She hates the 4th of July, I guess. She told me that she didn't like the fact people were, shooting off all the fireworks and making noise, and they ought to outlaw that. And she also told me one day, because I was wearing a shirt that had a gun store's thing on it, how much she hates guns and how much she hates different things. And then this time, when I said, well, it's to remember the Revolutionary War. It's to remember our independence. And we were talking about soldiers, and she brought up, well, it messes with soldiers and stuff like that. And I said, well, I was in the Army, and I'm okay with it. I guess some people get weirded out, but we can't stop celebrating 4th of July. But she kept going on about loud noises, and she was going to go somewhere where she didn't have to deal with it and all that. Well, I hope she's happy, and I hope she found that place tonight and she can hide. But anyhow, also other people at Walmart, their checkers and stuff, they're not doing really good. I'm watching them slam stuff on the shelves. It's they're pushing those blue carts around, and you're trying to shop and get your food, and you can't. You got to work around them almost. It's like you're secondary because you're shopping within the store. I don't know about Walmart. I started going to Aldi. I'm going to go to Walmart tomorrow for a few things, and then I'm going to go to Walmart on the 7th and the Dollar Tree. I like to shop at the Dollar Tree. That's much better. It has limited stuff, but some of the stuff is cheaper than at Walmart now. Walmart keeps raising their prices. It's getting ridiculous. Their meat's gone up incredibly. It's hard to find sausage. Just different things. But anyhow, you might want to start thinking about putting stuff together. Like, make sure you have a couple pairs of shoes. Make sure you have maybe a dozen pairs of socks. Maybe extra underwear. If you're a woman, bras, t-shirts, whatever you might need. And extra clothes, because if things do break down and they do have a war, and of course you got China going on, it might be hard to pick up cheaper clothing and shoes. It's just something to think about. Anyhow, make sure you put together some type of small pack and you put water in it and maybe some food and some items so that you can put it in your car. So if you drive away from your house and something happens, and let's say there's an EMP, you can walk back to your house, because your house is your best opportunity. Bugging in is the best opportunity. You got to have some type of way to defend your house. You got to have a plan when you get there, like filling all the water, locking the doors and windows, filling all the water, containers, even plastic containers, whatever you got that you can fill up with water, buckets, your bathtub, if something like that does happen. But, you need that backpack because it might take you 5 or 6 hours to walk back to your house, And what if you have to spend a day or two getting there for some reason? What if you're even further away and you have to do that? That's all I'm saying about that. That's something you need to do. The other thing is keep your gas tank full on your car. Hopefully you'll live in a neighborhood where they won't steal your gas. I'm kind of wondering if somebody's taking my gas because the gas seems to go pretty fast in my truck. And it seems to get around 13 miles to the gallon, but it's hard to tell. My odometer, the speedometer works, but the odometer quit working. It's separate from the speedometer. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Again, being on a fixed income, it's going to be months before I can bother ever taking it in. I need to have the oil pressure unit checked. It always reads real high up. It's gotten better. I don't know if it's starting to work, but it's gone down more into the range it's supposed to be. But I want them to replace that, and I want them to look at the odometer. I think that's going to be very important. Get that done next. Okay, make sure your vehicle's in good working order. Make sure your stuff in your house is organized. That's very important. Have your food organized. Know what you're going to do if the power goes out. Because, hey, if the power goes out, you got to eat the stuff out of the refrigerator within 24 hours. You got to eat the stuff out of the freezer probably within 48 hours. If you have a chest freezer, that might be better. It might keep going for a long time. But make sure you get some things like this month. Water is really important. And drinking. You don't have to drink just water, but you need water, like if you have freeze-dried food. You need water if you got to have so much water a day. They say a gallon, so I figure put in some other things. Maybe you need a little extra water for other things. And what if it doesn't rain? And you can't get water in a bucket off your roof. And if it's a nuclear war, you're not going to be getting water off your roof. So start working on your contingency plans for the things that you're going to need. And I want to touch base on a couple of things. One of the things is, I notice there's a lot of division. All you people out there that are preppers, survivalists, it's time to quit nitpicking each other, whether you're Christian or Muslim or whatever. Just everyone should accept everybody. If we're all survivalists and preppers, we should realize that we're basically on the same page, and, I have a friend that's Christian and she believes that God's going to come and snatch her up before a nuclear war or end of the world scenario happens. I don't think the world's ever going to end. I think it's just we're going to have problems. We live in a society with a lot of people who live day to day, 3 days worth of food in their house. There are going to be a lot of hungry people. And we might want to think about that. Might want to have some things that you wouldn't normally want to eat, maybe to give away. Dirt cheap stuff. So you could help out your neighbors a little bit. Maybe they'll return and give you some things back. Can always hope so. There is a point that's going to come, and you're going to have to turn your neighbors away. You're going to have to say, well, we got to work out some type of barter system. What are you going to do to go find food? If I give you some food today, what are you going to give me back the next day or later this day? And of course, most of them say, well, you got to help me. I'm starving. Well, instead of smoking that pot, instead of smoking that fake pot, instead of using crack or heroin or whatever, fentanyl or whatever you're using, maybe you should think about getting extra things to keep you and your family alive if something like this happens. But anyhow, yeah, we need to stop worrying about people who are trans, gay, straight, whatever. If we all are preppers, then we're all basically reaching for the same goal, and that's to survive a major disaster. I don't know why people don't get that. I always say, yeah, love your family, tell your family you love them, give them a hug. You might want to be nice to your neighbors, because you may have to deal with them later. There's lots of people out there that say, well, I'm Christians, and you should do this, you should do that, and what are you going to do? Well, right now I'm alive, and I don't see heaven on my horizon yet, and I don't see hell on my horizon either, even if there are heaven and hell. And no, I'm not a Christian, and I don't have to be. This is a free country. It's not just a Christian country. It's not a Muslim country. It's not an atheist country. It's not an agnostic country. You get to believe in what you want to believe in. But if you're a prepper, there's always these gatekeepers. Guns, there's gatekeepers. They're saying, oh, well, you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't do that, or you don't need that, or whatever. You never know what you're going to need. Yeah, for hunting deer, hunting things, small animals, 22s are good. And for deer, yeah, I got a 45 long Colt rifle. But, yeah, if 20 people show up pounding on doors around here and saying they're going to burn the place down, am I going to let them burn our houses down? Am I going to let people do things to my neighbors and my friends? You have to come down to a decision on what you're willing to protect yourself, your family, and those around you. I don't have a problem doing that. I really don't want to. But if I have to do something, I will do it to protect me, myself, my family, and those around me. I'm not going to stand there and say, oh, where's the government? Are they coming to save me? Because they're not coming to save you. They're going to be worried about themselves, and they'll be in underground bunkers, and the military will be guarding them. And not all the military will go in there, because a lot of the military will go AWOL and go home. The police will be worried about taking care of their own families. I don't know why people don't get that. There's probably going to be no services. It's not going to be as bad as The Purge, not at least in the beginning. That movie, they got The Purge. But after people get hungry for 3 or 4 days, you never know what they're going to do. You have to protect yourself. Well, anyhow, I just want you to know that try to love other people. Other preppers, even if you don't totally agree with their lifestyles, even if you don't totally agree with their beliefs, that's all right. A lesbian woman could still love a Christian as a person and as a fellow or sister prepper. You got to do what you got to do, but you also have to think about if there is a big disaster in what they call the end of the world, or WROL, or Tatawaki happens, you're going to have to be able to take care of yourself and your family. And you may need the help of other people that you don't totally agree with. Just something to think about, people. Give everyone a hug. Tell them how much you love them. I'm out. And remember, you are the resistance.